Hello and welcome to Around the Air Force. I'm Staff Sergeant Mike Hutchinson. Thanks for joining us. Air Force Chief of Staff General Mark Welsh III and Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force James Cody will answer questions from around the world during a special show called Stars and Chevrons. The show will air October 29th at 5 p.m. Mountain Time on the Air Force Academy's cadet radio station KAFA-FM. To submit town hall style questions, send an email to kafafm@gmail.com. Other questions will come from a live audience during the show. Defense ministers met to talk about the future of the international mission in Afghanistan during a conference at NATO headquarters. Sergeant Abigail Waldrop takes us to Brussels, Belgium for the event.
Allied defense ministers met during a two-day NATO Defense Ministerial Conference to discuss some key issues. U.S. Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel says the U.S. is committed to building capabilities with NATO partners.
We will begin rotating a battalion-sized unit to Europe twice a year so that we can participate in NATO response force training and train with individual allies.
The conference hit on cybersecurity, missile defense, chemical weapons in Syria, and NATO Secretary General Anders Fogh Rasmussen opened a session discussing the future of the ISAF mission in Afghanistan.
The people of Afghanistan can be proud of the progress of the Afghan forces, and we can be confident in their ability to assume responsibility for securing their own country at the end of next year.
Secretary Hagel met with his Russian counterpart, Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, during bilateral talks.
The cooperation between the United States and Russia on Syria's chemical weapons underscores the benefits that come when our two nations pursue practical cooperation in areas of common interest.
This Conference of Ministers generally happens twice a year, and Secretary Hagel called this meeting positive and productive. Army Sergeant Abigail Waldrop, Brussels, Belgium.
Cybersecurity is vital to the safety of service members and the overall mission. Specialist James Muir introduces us to an airman at Hutchinson Air Base, South Korea, who helps minimize those threats.
Senior Airman Gregory Ward Jr. has an important job protecting the Air Force from an unseen enemy. This enemy tries to attack you from cyberspace. Ward explains what we can do to minimize this threat.
The average person can just be vigilant. Just think about before you respond to that email, before you open this email that looks suspicious, or before you answer this question. When you pick up the phone, just ask yourself, does this person have a need to know?
While we know cyber threats are at our doorstep in the States, people must remain vigilant in an overseas location as well.
In Korea or in other overseas locations, you might be initially caught off guard or just excited about being in a new environment, a new place, that you become less aware because you're overseas. And it's the natural wear and tear of being away from home and things of that nature might make you vulnerable to not be as on guard or not be as vigilant as you normally would.
Remaining vigilant is important because of the dangers that lurk around every corner.
We put planes in the air. If we were to put a schedule out of what planes are flying in the air, what pilots, that automatically would throw up a red flag to someone else to say, well, these are the capabilities that they have, first of all. These are the hours of operations that they have. These are the personnel. And any of those things can be compromised at any point if we don't consistently protect those things.
Remember that although you can't see your enemy, that doesn't mean they aren't there. Cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. Specialist James Muir, Hutchinson Air Base, Korea.
To find Air Force television features, visit our YouTube page at youtube.com/AFTV Radio. For more of today's top Air Force stories, visit AFLink. On the site, you can also listen to Air Force Radio News online. Just scroll over the News tab at the top of the page, then select Radio. From the Air Force Broadcasting Service at Fort Meade, Maryland, I'm Staff Sergeant Mike Hutchinson.